now we're getting into my favorite part of the day. We got actual founders, startup founders on stage, early stage Brazilian and Latin American founders presenting their companies. Before that, very briefly in 2 minutes, I'll tell you about a piece of the Latitud puzzle which is not that well known, which is Latitud Ventures, right? 3 years ago, we started our first product, basically. We launched our first product, which was with the Latitud Fellowship. You probably heard about it in some places. The Latitud Fellowship was and is basically an equity-free mentorship program for early-stage founders across Latin America, right? And we decided to make it an equity-free program to have a broader impact, right? Getting that community together and seeing those 1,600 founders coming through that community and that program helped us hear about their pains. And later today, you'll have Yuri and the team telling you about a few of the software products we're building for those pains. But we also saw another type of pain that Latin American founders go through and have, which is fundraising, right? It's still very hard to fundraise in LATAM, right? Even with more and more funds coming down to the region. We had 1,600 founders coming through the fellowship in 2.5 years, and they have, in aggregate, raised $600 million in equity, right? But still, we know this is a pain. That's why we always made our fellowship about fundraising, right? With sessions, with a VC directory, and many other things. But we knew, and we knew that it wasn't enough, right? That's why also 2.5 years ago, we created a little fund, a small venture fund that we've kept under the radar until Gina today announced it to some journalists. But I'll tell you a little bit about it now. Basically, what we want to do with that fund is be the first partner to founders in LATAM looking to build in the 0 to 1, right? In the last 2.5 years, we have invested in approximately 10 teams per quarter, right, with a small fund. And yeah, we'll see 10 of those teams pitching right now here today. We had a few earlier today. We had Pomelo, we had B-Hub, we'll have Shark Bank. So you'll see a few. But I think this will be a cool session where you see a few early stage teams making a big impact in LATAM. Just to round things up here, again, are we another seed fund? Not really. Everything we do in Latitud has to do with the 0 to 1, has to do with the very early days. Our community, our software products, as you'll learn from Yuri tonight, and also our fund, right? So basically, we have developed this thing which we call the Latitud fundraising playbook, right? What we believe is that for, let's say, 99% of the Latin American founders, the best path to raising capital is first raising a small round, what we call a pre-seed, building the 0 to 1, building the MVP, validating the key hypothesis, and then go out and raise the seed round, right? For that, we want to be the best partner. For founders wanting to follow that path, we want to be the best partners, right? So that's why we're raising right now a 25 million. We've just done the first close of a 25 million fund that we're announcing today. And yeah, this is just the beginning. The Latitud Fellowship keeps going strong. We just had 500 applicants. We're working very closely with the fund. And yeah, we encourage you to check out latitud.com and apply to the upcoming cohorts. With that, that's enough from my end. And yeah, I'll let you hear from the stars of this session, which are the Latitud founders. First of all, we have Fernando Ribeiro, a dear friend. Fernando was working at Bridgewater Associates in Boston a couple of years ago. He did the fellowship. He explored ideas. And then finally, he came back to Brazil, building a health tech with very deep impact in the Brazilian healthcare ecosystem. We're lucky to be an early investor. And yeah, he'll tell you a bit more about the thesis he's building. Fer, please come on stage.
Hello. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you, Latitud team. It's a pleasure to be here and share a little bit of how we're rethinking healthcare. So we start off by actually just recognizing the problem, right? That Brazilian healthcare is broken. And, oops. You know, we start off by something that's very established, which is healthcare in Brazil is extremely desirable. It's consistently ranked amongst the top 3 most desired goods or services between Brazilians. And in fact, 61% of people would actually change jobs just to have access to better private healthcare. And unfortunately, this is inaccessible to roughly 80% of the population. So 150 million people desperately want but can't access healthcare. And then the question is why? essentially because it's expensive, and it's very expensive. So much so that, in fact, the bulk of the market is employer-sponsored programs who are footing this multi-billion-dollar bill and see these costs increasing year over year, and, whoops, here, which has quickly climbed to the second highest expense for companies after payroll, and this cost only increases 18% year over year, outpacing inflation by 3 times. And unfortunately, we don't see the same kind of impact in quality. Outcomes aren't improving. Brazil is actually lagging and amongst the worst countries when it comes to quality by the World Health Organization. So why does this happen? Essentially because of misaligned incentives. So Brazil, we are unfortunately in the business of treating diseases and not preventing them. And essentially, we are rewarding providers, hospitals, doctors to push on more necessary treatment onto people who most of the times are uninformed or unwilling. And as a function of this, we beg the question, how can we actually make healthcare better, affordable, and more accessible? And that's the question that drives me, my co-founder Will, Dr. Chris, and our brilliant team of folks who are working at the intersection of product, engineering, medicine, and data, and who are also backed by, I think, one of the best groups of investors in the world, including Founders Fund, General Catalyst, Picus, Latitude, and Norte. And we started off by asking ourselves, hey, what actually determines cost and quality of a patient journey? And started by looking at the data, right? We analyzed 2 billion reais in claims data, 70,000 lives over 10 years. And what do we find out? That the single most important variable in determining both cost and quality is the physician. And the best physicians, they not only generate the best outcomes, but they're also 30% cheaper than the average physician. I know, this is like a powerful, profound insight, right? Yet, in Brazil, we have more information on our Uber drivers than we do on our surgeons. And that's where Alinea steps in. So our mission is to radically reduce healthcare costs while we also radically improve outcomes to our employees and our members. More specifically, so we partner with employers who offer private healthcare to their employees, and then we help that patient navigate through their healthcare journeys. What does that look like? Essentially, we empower them with a personal care team where they can have access to unlimited appointments with no copay, no costs. Second, we just eliminate friction from the process. So they have access to our virtual concierge team where they can book appointments, procedures, tests, anything they need with a click of a button. And lastly, if and when people need to look for a specialist, we have proprietary tech and algorithms to identify who are the best performing physicians who are close to your home and available when you need them. And that's only half of the equation. The other half is how we service our employers. And essentially, we deliver on the promise of reducing costs by eliminating waste and fraud. We empower them with a healthier and more productive staff. And lastly, we have a data-driven approach where we can empower them to have data to make informed decision-making. And this is, I think, landing this message. This is what a typical employer experiences. So every month they see their healthcare costs rise until they hit an inflection point, which is when they partner with Alinea. And then they see a new unprecedented turn in costs and unprecedented employee satisfaction. And going beyond just costs, I'm incredibly proud here of my team who have outpaced our US benchmarks at every important dimension by up to 6-fold. And then now we come back full circle into this question, how can we make healthcare better, affordable, and more accessible? We start off by making healthcare better. So by delivering better care, leaning into the best physicians, leveraging data, we can actually reduce waste and fraud. And by doing so, we can reduce premiums by 20 to 40%, making it more affordable. And then lastly, we can make that, and by reducing costs, we can make it accessible to roughly 150 million Brazilians who desperately want but can't afford private healthcare. If you're interested in learning more, please swing by our stand or visit us. It'll be a pleasure to one day service you guys too. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Amazing presentation. Thank you so much for joining us. Our next founder, well, they say that entrepreneurship is reserved for crazy people. And this next founder has done it 3 times. So that should tell you something about him. Our next founder coming on stage is Paulo David. Ele é o founder do AmFi. Paulo, something we have in common is how much we care about building community. So I'll let him take you through the intricacies of building a blockchain infrastructure company. Paulo, welcome on stage.
Hi, everyone. Hi, my name is Paulo. I am the CEO and co-founder of AmFi, and today I'm going to talk to you how we are rethinking capital markets in Brazil. But starting first, I'll tell you one backstage story. Marshall approached me a few weeks ago, and he said, Paulo, we really like AmFi. You are one of the portfolio companies that we like the most, but it's very complex to explain what you guys are building. So can you please be not so technical this presentation? So I said, yes. There is a huge opportunity in Brazil, and we have more than $2.5 trillion in receivables. Most of them are invoices and credit cards. But only a fraction of those assets reach capital markets. We have many problems in our industry, and we are trying to fix them using a completely new approach. We decided to develop a platform that would allow anyone to create, structure, and distribute its own financial product. We develop, and I'm not going to be technical, a set of smart contracts that are fully integrated with the infrastructure in capital markets, and we reduce costs and the time to structure a product. Our clients are using our solution and saving more than 70% to structure an operation, and they are creating vehicles in 2 weeks. We use their receivables to access and unlock liquidity, and we are building that using a better technology. That's the result. For investors, we have a platform that can allow them not only to have more control, security, and transparency with their investments, because it's not a human running the applications, it's code, but also we can make like fractional ownership, we can have like programmable money, and we can have like many benefits in order for them to access this new class of assets. Seems right, seems good, right? But AmFi, it's part of a bigger plan. The Brazilian Central Bank is developing a new infrastructure that's going to be the future. We have the DREX and this new CBDC. The central bank says that we are going towards a tokenized economy, and Brazil will be the first large country in the world to be fully tokenized. On top of this infrastructure, there will be many application layers, and AmFi is one of them. The topic is so important that CVM, our SEC, said that that's the future of capital market, and AmFi, it's the first company authorized to do public offers of our tokens in Latin America. The future seems nice, right? But that's not only the future. We are seeing that happening now. AmFi, it's all over the news in Brazil. We are growing 70% month over month, and we already have more than 2,700 operations being executed fully with our technology. AmFi is creating this frictionless, better capital market, globally connected on top of a cutting-edge technology. And we are building this for many of you guys here, for our community. So if the blockchain integrates you, if you think that you want to know more about capital markets, and if you want to join our revolution, please join our community. Let's build together the next evolution of capital market, and thank you very much.
Ooh. Thank you, Paulo. You did amazing. Thank you so much, man. He really is crazy. Now, you know that Latitude has a bunch of products that we offer. So we have the fellowship, we have the ventures team, we have the Latitude Formations and Finance. Yet, for somebody to use all of those products, they need to be obsessed about building a tech startup. And this woman coming on stage is absolutely obsessed. She left a dream of a career in finance to pursue tackling problems in education. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Marcela Teixeira from Apprenty.
Thank you, Marcel. Well, that was an introduction, right? Hello, everyone. I'm Marcela, co-founder of Apprenty, and I'm really happy and excited to be here today. So, I'm going to start with a question. Oops, next. Do you remember the first month at your first job? How was that like? Let me guess. It wasn't great, right? You were probably lost at start, didn't really know how to behave, how to talk to people, but mostly, you didn't know how to do the job. You learned it by doing it on a daily basis. Okay, a lot of time has passed. You are now a founder or a manager, and you have hired a lot of people since then. So I'm going to ask you another thing. Do you remember the first month of your last junior employee? It wasn't that great either, was it? It was probably worse than when you started. Companies now move faster. Every day there is a new technology, a new tool or framework to be learned. And you don't really have time to teach basics to someone that is starting now. The truth is, there's a huge disconnection between the world of learning and work. On one side, students are being poorly educated to navigate and succeed on the job market. On the other side, companies need talent that deliver results fast, and managers have less and less time to train someone from scratch. And it's precisely on this gap that we are building a billion-dollar company. The numbers in Brazil show this disconnection. There are more than 40 million Brazilians between 18 and 23 years old. And 1/3 of them are neither employed or studying. Only 18% are enrolled in college. And less than half actually graduate. And still, 1.3 million students graduate every year, and they are not prepared. The question is, who is training them? We are 3 founders obsessed with this problem. We have different and complementary backgrounds. Guilherme has an extensive and amazing experience on the education market. He has worked with McKinsey and Fundação Lehman and has made a huge impact with educators throughout Brazil. Mariane has co-founded Ensina Brasil, which is an NGO inspired by Teach for America, and she has also made a huge impact in K-12 education. And myself, well, as Marcel said, I worked for more than 10 years with big banks like BTG Pactual and HSBC. And then I decided to follow my heart. I joined the tech world and decided to do something with impact as well. And I felt myself the pain of training junior people. We are also very happy and grateful to have amazing backers like Canary, Positive Ventures, Latitude, and Potential Ventures, and also amazing angel investors. Well, as I said, we are obsessed with this problem, and we are united by a mission to transform the way young people are being trained for the job market. On the last 18 months, we have been cracking our heads and trying different things on how to tackle this problem. So, one thing we know for sure, people learn better by doing. And we also know that if you have someone guiding you on that initial stages of your career, that makes a lot of difference. So, we are extremely excited to be building an AI-powered tool that will unlock talent potential while optimizing leadership time. Our AI buddy develops talent through job simulations and mentorship that accelerate the time this new talent needs to add value into your teams and save your time to focus on really matters. Well, how does it work? The AI learns about your company and your activities, your team activities. Based on this knowledge, it creates hands-on job simulations that will mimic the task that this person will be doing on your daily job. The buddy will give feedbacks and tips on how to work and navigate on your company. And you will have all the analytics that you need. We are very happy and proud to have been working with amazing companies. Companies that know the cost of training a person, know the cost of putting people into a bunch of meetings. We are in a mission to reconnect the world of learning and work. And we are just starting. So if you are a founder or a manager, do yourself a favor, scan this QR code, and learn about our product and how can we save your time. And come see us at our booth. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marcela. Amazing. Thank you. Hey, are we enjoying this over here? Are you enjoying it? Yeah? Let's give it up for the founders. Thank you so much. So hope you all learned something there. And this next founder that's coming on stage, he'll have something that some of you might need on your day-to-day lives. So this is something that is critical for a second-time founder who struggles or who knows how important it is to have product market fit. The next founder coming on stage is Rafael Macchioni. He's the founder and CEO of Assis, an assistant, maybe the assistant that you need, and your assistant for your everyday life.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rafael. I am the CEO and co-founder of Assis. Assis is a digital assistant for solopreneurs, starting in Brazil. I'm here today to tell how we're going to revitalize the way that solopreneurs do their business in Brazil. We're going to empower 26 million of solopreneurs who are struggling today. They are struggling because they need to do different roles. They need to be the marketing person, the sales person, the legal person, finance. And then they start trying to find different tools to help them with different jobs to be done. But those tools, they are not connected. They are not integrated. They don't have an operating system. So they lose the clarity of their business. They start to losing opportunities for not answering leads fast enough, forgetting to doing follow-ups. And of course, that don't happen because they want to. It's really tough, takes a lot of effort and a lot of time. In the early days of Assis, I was an assistant for some solopreneurs. And I started doing all the setup, updating those tools, taking a look, trying to find the best workflow for them. And I started thinking, what if they could have a single tool? We created a single tool for them. One assistant with infinite possibilities. We are helping them from all the client flow. And everything starts with the online profile. That's really important because all the leads come from different channels to that place. That place shows them what the service provider does, which kind of service they provide. They can ask for an estimate. They can schedule a meeting. They can see the reviews. And later on, we created an AI agent that's going to help them to have the lead score, to understand what the lead's looking for, which kind of service, why they are looking for that, if there is any specification. All the information they may need to send an estimate. We are becoming the operating system. We are helping them from online profile, lead capture, lead management, sending estimates, remember them for doing follow-ups, to reach out the lead, collecting payments, and of course, helping them with the financial view. From my previous company, we had a really good product market fit, but nothing compares to that. In 5 months, we have a retention rate of 86%. Every month, we ask them, how would they feel if they could no longer use Assis? 61% of them answered they would be really disappointed. And of course, that only happens because of that team. We are really mission-driven people. We are proven operators. We have been there before. We did 0 to 1, 1 to 100, international experience, unicorn experience. But the most important thing, we know solopreneurs. Some of our team are married to solopreneurs. Others, their parents were solopreneurs. So we know the struggle. We know what they need to do. And we know if you don't build it, nobody else will. So today I would like to share our mission and our vision for the next years. Our mission is to help them to succeed, to be successful in their business. And of course, we strongly believe that in the next 10 years, we'll be able to double the S&B shares in the GDP. Today is only 25%. In the next 10 years, we strongly believe that will be possible to be 50%. And Assis will be the key driver to change that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rafa. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it. Give me just this. What were you doing 25 years ago? I was just learning how to walk. And this next founder, Arthur O'Keefe, who will speak now, he was operating a submarine in the US Navy. After that, over the last 20 years, he's held executive roles at iFuji, Mobily, and now Arthur O'Keefe will introduce us to Bamboo. And he'll take us on a 5-minute amazing masterclass around debt capital markets. So let's give it up for Arthur.
Thank you, Marcel. Hi, I'm Arthur O'Keefe, founder of Bamboo Debt Capital Markets platform. And this is oriented to you, CEOs, CFOs, and founders who are interested in raising debt capital to sustain your growth. So we've heard the story that it's never been easier to found a fintech and that every company will be a financial services company. But what isn't discussed is that financial services are typically financed with debt, and it has never been harder to raise debt. The companies that need debt are smaller, the issuances are smaller, they're more complex, they're more technological, and there's more of them. And yet, the debt capital markets are analog. And so we built Bamboo as a solution to that problem. Bamboo simplifies debt financing, connecting companies and investors with trust and transparency. At our heart, we are a data engineering platform. We connect into companies, we take the data that's required to understand a deal, we structure it, we structure the deal, and we present that data to investors, and then we leave that connection attached. And doing so changes the game. Bamboo changes the game of debt capital markets. We're able to distribute a deal widely to investors in a streamlined way, and because we have data, we increase recurrence of deals and then improve liquidity in the secondary markets. In this way, Bamboo leverages data to nurture long-term relationships between originators of credit and investors. An investor can come onto the Bamboo platform and find all the analytics they need to assess deal suitability. And we have tremendous success already, strong traction. We issued a 40 million reais Fujiki for Agroforte, loans to protein farmers. We issued a 5 million reais first public certificate of receivables for Sunny Hub. And then several months later, we proved the thesis of recurrence when, with the connection that we built for Sunny Hub to the capital markets, they were able to come back and borrow an additional 5 million reais to finance the purchase of a solar panel portfolio. And coincidentally, on this deal, we also proved that using technology, it's possible to greatly amplify who can access the capital markets. Traditionally, deals done in bonds that are listed are in the order of 500 million reais. We did it at 5 million reais using technology. What gets us really excited is that, according to the Banco Central of Brazil, the Brazilian corporate debt market is $1 trillion and grows at $100 billion a year on net new issuance. And all of this in a market that is completely analog. One can imagine, as Bamboo digitalizes this market, how much faster it will grow. When you use Bamboo to issue debt, you have an amazing team that understands startups, that understands the capital markets, and that understands technology that will take care of you and your company as you go to raise debt financing. Of course, we're backed by amazing investors like Latitud that we're extremely grateful for their partnership. And so here at close, we invite you to come and visit our booth outside and to learn how we can partner with you to help you raise the money you need to sustain your growth through debt financing. Once again, I'm Arthur O'Keefe, founder of Bamboo Debt Capital Markets, and we provide credit to sustain your growth. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Arthur. Muito obrigado. Just it. There used to be a joke in the industry that AI actually meant Argentinians and Indians. And as an Argentinian, this made me really angry. So today, I'm super happy to introduce a fellow Argentinian that's going to pitch an AI startup to you. And so there are some fun facts about this Argentinian. One thing, he owns a tea shop, a tea company, because the company was going bankrupt, so he bought it, and he turned it around. And another thing is that even though we're fellow Argentinians and we have friends in common, we discovered this founder because he was using our incorporation product. And this is part of the flywheel that we try to generate at Latitud. So we're super happy, and I'm super pleased of introducing on stage Lautaro Schiaffino, who's the founder and CEO of Darwin AI.
Thank you very much, Marcial. Whoa, that was a great introduction. And you are all invited into my tea shop in Shopping Cidade São Paulo here in the city. So I am Lautaro. I am the co-founder and CEO of Darwin AI, and we are creating AI workers for SMBs in LatAm. So Ezekiel, my co-founder, and me were co-founders of Sirena.app, a WhatsApp share inbox tool for SMBs in LatAm. We escalated that company up to 3,500 customers in more than 25 countries in Latin America. And the company was acquired 2 years ago. And now, 2 months ago, we started a new company in the same space. We've been working more than 9 years trying to help SMBs contact their customers, communicate with their customers. We're talking about high-ticket B2C SMBs. So I'm talking about a car dealership, a real estate worker, an educational business, or a high-ticket retail, like a mattress store. And if you see, like the last 3 or 4 years, they improve a lot in their lead qualification and the lead management processes. But the problem is still here. Why? They built digital sales teams, such as Pepe's team, and they are trying to contact leads through WhatsApp. But they have high turnover rates in these teams with junior employees. They do not have context on the product that they're selling. Sometimes they'll sell a card that they never use. And they're also not 24 hours available, and they have delay. Why they have delay? Because they're managing more leads than the amount that they can. So we believe, wrong presentation, but no problem. We believe that the solution to this problem is generative AI. With LLMs, we can create an AI tool that can help them 24 hours a day, that never gets frustrated, and that always have full context on the product that they're selling. But SMBs today can use AI through 3 types of tools. One is technical tools, coding, and they do not have technical teams or developers. The second one is drag and drop tools. I don't know if you have seen this Ask PDF tool that creates an AI from a PDF. But funny thing, they do not have PDFs. They do not have structured data. And the third one that we believe that is the best way to create an AI for them is creating an AI employee. This AI employee can be 100% onboarding, such as a human. Like, they can give feedback, and if this employee doesn't know anything, he can ask another coworker, right? So meet Darwin AI. Darwin can manage your inbound leads and can as well reactivate leads from your database. But Darwin is talking to customers and is talking as well to employees. So in order to help Darwin not hallucinate, we create more than one personality. And we have a 2-layer technology in which we select which personality gets to talk each time. For example, for a car dealership business, we have a used car sales specialist, a new car sales specialist, a finance specialist, and there is a conversation analyzer, that is an AI, that selects which get to talk. So we're starting from sales, but we want to escalate the solution to post-sales, scheduling, support, but SMBs want to increase sales. This is their priority. So that's why we're starting there. We believe that in the future, there will be a hybrid workforce with humans and AIs. I know that this sounds futuristic, but our AI is already talking to customers, And when the customer is ready to buy, it escalates it to a human. So it's talking to both of them. Darwin will be in the future 2 things for this company. The first thing will be their best employees, because these companies do not have a PDF or structured data to train an AI. So Darwin is learning over time from feedback from their coworkers and their bosses. And the second thing that Darwin will be is the system of records, or I like to call it the system of intelligence. Because Darwin is talking at least one time with all the customers of these SMBs. So if they want to know what these customers want or what is their preference, they will probably want to ask to Darwin. So we're happy to be helping these SMBs surf this AI wave and be prepared for the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lauta. Just a clicker. Thank you so much. I'm going to share a little story. Basically, before joining Latitude, I used to work in fintech, and I worked in fintech for roughly 4 years. And the first time we were pitched Hyperplane, I actually suggested to the team that we shouldn't invest. I thought of all the ways in which this was impossible, and it wasn't going to be able to succeed. And I was wrong. I was very wrong. So right now, I'm going to introduce on stage Felipe Meneses. He's one of the co-founders of Hyperplane. And if you're in the financial scene, you're going to want to take a look, because they're building solutions that are going to impact the whole board.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having us. My name is Felipe. I'm a proud co-founder of Hyperplane. At Hyperplane, we're building an AI platform for financial institutions to build the next generation of financial institutions. So we build these foundation models, right? And we use consumer banking data to help banks answer billion-dollar questions. The biggest thing about banks is they have multiple models. Like, for you to get a credit card, you need a credit model that has accepted you. You also need a model to, well, basically predict how much limit you should get. And then you have fraud models to protect you, and they have collections models to protect everyone else. And if you need multiple products, you have a CRM, and then you need to make recommendations for everyone. Well, the thing is, these products also have multiple models. And so you end up with something like this. And basically, you have models that are pulverized across the bank. They train with different features. And ultimately, they never get to benefit from a central layer of intelligence. If you think about it, I faced myself this personally. When I moved back from Brazil, I didn't really get a credit limit that was fair. I couldn't even buy a pair of earbuds. And the biggest thing is, sure, I was young. I didn't really have any history to my name. But after a few months of stable income, they could surely have gotten it, right? And so what we do is we centralize this layer of intelligence so that banks can adjust to you. Banks begin by, is it going? Oh, okay. Banks begin by connecting to our data platform. And what our data platform does is it enables you to pull all your data into Hyperplane, and integrating into Hyperplane gives you a ton of benefits. The main one is that you get to use the power of all of our intelligence modules. Our intelligence modules constantly enrich, understand, and predict our data to generate user behavior. And you can find multiple banks using our intelligence modules to give you better financial services. AutoML is used to give you better credit. Our verified income model gives you a proper credit limit. And audience segmentation makes sure the banks don't spam you with 5 notifications about their products. And all of that is powered by Mandelbrot. Mandelbrot is our large user model that has been engineered to really understand you and like from every piece of data that a bank has on you. So their transactions, the KYC, all of these things are used to produce a fair credit limit and many other things. Over the past 21 months, we've been working with 9 banks. We have processed over 4 billion transactions. We have helped banks understand the realities of over 6 million users. We have also raised $6 million from top funds like SV Angel, Lucky Groom, and Latitude. Guys, thank you so much for having us. I mean, how many Latitude fellows do we have here? That's a lot. So, I mean, that says it all. And of course, I'm not the mastermind behind this, clearly, with this pitch. But Felipe was the COO of Startse. Startse is one of the biggest edtechs in Brazil. And he's now our CEO. Daniel, in 2019, has helped Google raise their revenue by $1 billion by helping them model the hardest parts of their data. Rohan has built the models that you use to connect with people on LinkedIn. I went to Stanford. We're now 27, and all of our engineers have gone through the process of building, training, deploying, and monitoring machine learning modules at scale at companies like Facebook, Google, Microsoft, and so on. These people are obsessed about building the best models that you can, and they're building the opportunities that will really improve the next generation of the financial system. So if you want to learn more about what banks look like in the age of AI, talk to us. The QR code is on the screen. Thank you.
We did it. Just a clicker. Thank you so much, Felipe. Amazing. Thank you so much. So, when we started at Latitude, we were not sure if we wanted to be close to YC, different from YC, something YC, YC this, YC that. And suddenly, one of these founders, the founders of Malga, who were part of YC, they let us know that, hey, your value proposition stacks up. It's amazing. And beyond that, which was very nice to hear, the team from Malga has saved our asses many times. Because at Latitude, we need to process payments from Brazil to Brazil, from Brazil to outside of Brazil, from outside of Brazil to Brazil. So it's quite complex. And in that process, they have saved our asses many, many times. Joining on stage is one of the payments experts in Brazil, a guy with a lot of experience who I'd love to welcome on stage, Alex Vilhena, co-founder and CEO of Malga. Oh, we have Malga and then 2 other pitches, and thank you so much, everybody, for staying and paying attention to the founders. I really appreciate that. Here you go, this one.
All right, cool.
You got it.
Thank you for the kind introduction, Marcial. He's good with all the introductions, how he is able to personalize the company, so I appreciate that. Like Marcial said, I'm Alex, co-founder and CEO of Malga. Quick question here. What would you think if you walked into a store and there are 4 cashiers, but 1 cashier was turning away customers? Odd, right? Probably not the best customer experience. Definitely not the best business strategy. Turning away customers is never a good business strategy. But that's what's happening in Latin America's digital economy. Brazil alone loses 186 billion reais a year. And according to Visa, part of this is because 1 in 4 transactions online is declined. And this means that Brazil has the worst acceptance rate in all the region, despite being one of the most advanced digital economies here. And this problem is only going to increase. With a growth rate of 30% year over year, you can imagine how big that number is going to get. So having come from the payments landscape and seen closely how companies like Uber, Airbnb, and iFood solve this problem by building their own payment stack, the founders at Malga know intimately the do's and don'ts of how to build a payments infrastructure that not only scales, but also delivers. The idea behind this infrastructure is that we allow companies to be completely adaptable with their very own personalized payments infrastructure. Now, what that means is that they can work with multiple providers, always deciding which is the best one on a transaction-to-transaction basis, have all the payment methods that their customers require through a single integration, make them more resilient by having fallback and contingency plans, decrease costs through least cost routing, and most importantly, increase sales through smart routing and optimizations. We built Malga, LatAm's modern payments infrastructure, with a 3-layered approach. The first layer was connectivity. We integrated and normalized dozens of providers, choosing the best in breed in acquiring, digital payments, local payment methods, banks, fraud protection, and facilitating how our merchants could easily work with multiple providers at the same time. The second layer is autonomy. So we wanted to empower our merchants to build their own custom payments workflows, and then with clicks, not code, actually be able to create totally custom transaction flows that take a variety of parameters into consideration when deciding what's the best route for this transaction. Can I A/B test providers? And ultimately, have the highest acceptance rate possible. The third and final layer was intelligence. While having connectivity and the ability to actually customize your workflow was important, knowing what to optimize and how to optimize was just as important. So through a dashboard, an easy-to-use interface, we actually consolidated data from all the different providers, being a single source of truth, and provided actionable insights as to how to increase revenue. Since we launched in 2021, we've already processed 1 billion reais and have grown 10x year over year. And most importantly, we've actually worked with some of the best clients in digital, like Alura, Be Young, Privalia, and Latitude cohort companies like Awadi. And for these customers, we increased acceptance rates up to 70%. We decreased costs on average 30%. And this year alone, we've already recovered 30 million reais and injected it back into the Latin American digital economy. So before I leave, I just want to leave one final thought with you. Behind every declined transaction is a real customer. Now, what's the actual cost of losing a customer for you? What happens if that customer goes to a competitor? So if you're looking to optimize payments and increase revenue, please reach out. My name is Alex, co-founder and CEO of Malga. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you so much. Thank you for this. I care about all of these people kind of the same. But the first investment is the first investment. We care about them just a little bit more. And the next founder that's going to pitch was actually our first investment, Newtail. And they're innovating in e-commerce, but I thought everything in e-commerce had already been innovated. So what's left to build? In fact, what he'll tell us right now will unlock billions of dollars in value for every e-commerce across Brazil and Latin America. So next on stage, with vast experience in marketplaces and e-commerce, is Gabriel Monteiro, founder and CEO of Newtail.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. Thank you guys for being here. Well, I'm Gabriel Monteiro. I'm the CEO and founder of Newtail. So at Newtail, we're creating the infrastructure for every single kind of company to become a media company. And we're starting with retailers, as Marcel told. And let me show you why we're doing this. So advertising is broken. This is a bold statement to do, right? But because billions of dollars are being wasted right now due to the problem that brands can't properly target consumers nor track their own conversions. And I'll show you an example. This is a tasteful meal, right? Some of you guys haven't had the opportunity to lunch yet. But I can assure you guys that some of you doesn't relate to this message because some of you are vegan, vegetarians. Maybe some of you guys want some Chinese food, and that's all right, right? And there was ones that related to this. They just want some pizza tomorrow. They don't want to go and buy a steak, just leaving here the venue. And this is why doing advertising is super hard, super hard. The inability for you to target the exact person at the exact time through the proper channel, the product, etc., etc., etc. It's super hard. And of course, even harder to measure who that got impacted to the advertiser converted. It's difficult to do that, right? Some guys are doing this in a really good way. And we're seeing this why retail media may be a word that you haven't had the opportunity to hear yet. It's been super hot at America, and of course Europe, because it's the ability to use the entire ecosystem of retailers to better understand the consumer, better understand their consumer habits, what they're buying. They're in the end part of the funnel, right? So I can deliver the right message to the right folk and accompany their entire consumer journey. And this is what we're starting to do. And that's why Amazon is the third largest publisher in the whole world, just trailing Google and Meta. That's crazy, right? They're doing more than $38 billion in ad sales. This is margin, guys. This is 80 to 90% margins. Their main strategy for profitability as we speak just surpassed AWS. This is what we're doing. And here in LatAm, Mercado Libre, fantastic job. Amazon as well. What about everyone else, right? We have a super strong retail ecosystem in Brazil and Latin America. And this is why Newtail is building the infrastructure for advertising. We enable every single company to have this as a strong asset for their entire profitability strategy. Think about Nivea. Nivea is advertising, a multinational company, and they want to engage. And they can imagine that they can track their audience that they're talking to. So beauty companies, maybe I want to speak with a person that buys from my competitor. Then just suddenly, I start to look for the formats, the best formats to engage with the person. And of course, I'm gonna be paying for that. And this is margin, guys. This is what retailers are craving for during this moment. So this is 90% margins on their pocket. This is why it's super strong. And of course, the retailer can tell you if that conversion happened, if that message was delivered, right? We know that because we struggled that. We were the creators of the first Brazilian platform for retail media in Brazil. We created Americanas Advertising, $80 million in ad sales during a span of 4 years. More than 3,000 advertisers on top of the platform. And we're doing that right now for every single retailer, every single consumer company. So we haven't even our main competitor at the time. Casas Bahia trust in us. Why wouldn't you, right? So we have more than 45 billion GMV running through the company, more than 60 million people that we are engaging with through our customers right now. Top advertisers, Samsung, Motorola, LG, Electrolux, partnering with us. And at the end, since we're transforming everyone in retailers, we're creating the largest media marketplace, connecting every single brand to every single consumer company, retailer company, even allowing banks, telcos, content companies to become media companies. And this is how we're fixing advertisement. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Gabriel. The clicker. Thank you.
Thank you.
I worked 3 years at Mercado Libre, and everything he said is not only true, but it was a critical strategy for us to defend ourselves against Amazon in Mexico. We had to improve this dramatically, and the CTO, Daniel Rabinovich, was like, you need to improve this. So yeah, just for everybody to strengthen the pitch. Now, we are on to our last presenter, Marcia Netu. She Exactly. That, exactly. She has the unique combination of experience and energy. She's amazing. And she's I mean, everybody knows her here either for being an Endeavor entrepreneur, Endeavor mentor, co-founder of this, co-founder of that. But to me, she's a friend. Marcia, welcome on stage.
Thank you, Marcel. So, before I start, I'd like to ask a question to the audience. Raise your hand who is afraid of losing money after have your phone stolen here in Brazil. Come on, people. I bet many of you have two phones, one that is leave at home, another one that go outside. Thank you. We just have an idea. I'm going to start now. I'm Marcia Neto, co-founder CEO of Silverguard. I'm an Endeavor entrepreneur, like Marcel said. I have been working for 20 years with technology and digital growth. And Silverguard is my third business. And what connects all of them is my passion for solving real untapped needs with technology. Financial innovation is thriving in Brazil. We are a massive, overbanked population with almost 6 financial accounts per people. We have a high usage of mobile banking, instant payments. Our instant payments use our famous Pix is just behind India only. However, there is a dark side in all this innovation. Financial innovations are doing their best to fight fake accounts, for instance. However, it is still hard to prevent mule accounts, losses after you lose your phone or you are stolen, and the famous scams. Pix was a breakthrough innovation in Brazil, and also a scam booster. According to Bison, we had 1.7 million Pix scams last year. And just get larger, because we believe this number is 5 times larger because many people don't do anything to report. A number that is 5 times the car robbery here in Brazil. And there's another scam booster in Brazil, Brazilians' creativity. 70% of our scams come from social engineering. Those well-elaborated scams that are hard to identify, and lots of people close to us have already fallen. And the third scam booster is coming with AI's dark side, because it's going to be harder to identify a scam when AI can emulate beloved friends and family voices in a phone call. Darker times are coming, unfortunately. Our pre-seed that we raised March of this year with Astela and Latitud is going to be used to validate the product market fit of 2 products from our financial protection ecosystem. The first of them is SOS Scam platform that connects individuals and financial institutions, identifying fake and mule accounts faster, and improving the chances of people having their money back. Our MVP have assisted in over 10,000 Pix scams since May, and we are now scaling the product since we are with a 90 rate NPS. By assisting these victims, we're also creating a community of engaged people that will have higher conversion rates when we launch our app at the end of the year.
Attenzione, pickpocket!
Sorry to yell. Thank you, Marcel. You're a perfect actor. We made this scene to illustrate what happens, sadly, with thousands of Brazilians every day. But phone pickpocketing is not the worst for Brazilians. Sometimes thieves use physical coercion to steal your phone unlocked. Or even worse, they kidnap you and force you into making huge Pix transactions. That's why My co-founder and CTO, Flavio, and our stellar team are working hard to launch in December our app MVP that will address this huge concern for Brazilians. Our smart locker are going to protect mobile bank apps and also one-click checkout apps that we have in our phone. And in case you are coerced to make transactions, our panic password are going to initiate a financial shutdown, alerting all your banks and fintechs that you are in a SOS situation. Our subscription plan are going to have a multi-bank PIX insurance and feature a family plan too. The reality is that there are a lot of B2B solutions in this financial protection landscape. But our uniqueness is to be at people's side, from prevention to support, before, during, and after a digital crime or scam. We're creating a new category in fintech that exists to protect people from losing their lifetime money. We are the digital guardian of people's finances. We're beginning with consumers. However, we envision in the future that we'll have an enterprise opportunity by providing valuable production data for companies. The purpose behind Silverguard is that everybody should use the best of technology without financial concerns. We believe that people should be afraid of using PIX or should have a separate phone for going out, like I asked you in the beginning. That's why I want to invite you to take our quiz and find out how safe is your money in your phone here in Brazil. I bet even the geekiest in the room are going to learn new protection tips to protect your phone and your money in your phone. And the best, if you take the quiz, you can try and test in firsthand our app for free. Thank you very much, and come to visit us on our booth.
Thank you, Marcia. Okay, Stan, we're moving to the next panel in 2 seconds. Thank you to the 10 entrepreneurs. Thank you, Marshall, the best MC ever. And yeah, Luisa, who's joining us in the Latitud Ventures team next week. This is basically her first day at the job. And yeah, very shortly, don't stand up. You'll have Brian moderating an amazing panel with some of the best growth investors and founders in Latin America. Brian. Thank you, everyone, for staying close.